Nicola Hill joins us from London. Nicola, this is really interesting. What more did the study have to say?
It is interesting, isn't it? And the reason that they're looking at the nasal cavity, so to speak, is because they found out fairly early on that this is one of the ways that the virus enters. It enters in the back of the nose, the back of the nasal cavity, where our smell cells are. And that's one of the reasons they think why many people who have Covid-19 have lost their sense of taste and their sense of smell. So there's quite a few of these very small studies, beginning studies, that are underway. But this particular one that's really interesting, that's had its interim results published, so it's not completed at the moment. But this actually had three arms, three categories of people in this study. One lot had to rinse their nose twice a day with a saline solution, that's salt and water, the type of thing that we were told as children to sniff salt water up your nose or gargle with it if you had a sore throat or a blocked nose. The other group had a mixture of salt, saline solution and a surfactant, a type of baby shampoo, and that's because they know that the soap can kill the virus. And the third group did nothing. Now, all of these were patients who had tested positive for Covid-19. They weren't hospitalised, so they had much milder symptoms. And the interim results so far are showing that the people who are doing these twice daily nasal rinses are actually reducing the length of time that they've got headaches and nasal congestion. So it seems to be having some sort of impact. As I say, very early results. There is also a theory that perhaps by messing around with the virus in the nose, it could actually spread the virus further down the body. So that's why there's a lot of concern about this. It's being watched carefully. I spoke to Professor Paul Hunter, who's Professor of Medicine at the University of East Anglia, and he says this is certainly something that's very interesting, but the fact that there's small studies is important, and we have to be very careful because small studies about other potential treatments have then come to nothing. But it's something that, you know, it's fascinating to look at the moment.
Yeah, it certainly is. But before we all go out and start rinsing our noses with baby shampoo, how far along is the research?
Yeah, that's a really good point to make there, Rachel. We shouldn't all go along rinsing our noses with salt and baby shampoo. And I need to really emphasise that. In fact, Professor Hunter said that what you have to remember is that the virus also comes through the mouth and it comes through the eyes. So we really don't know how effective this is. There is another very small study that's underway looking at whether a solution that contains iodine, which is a disinfectant, it's used as an antiseptic before operations, that's being used as a nasal spray on healthcare workers as a potential prophylactic. But again, we're not that far along at the moment. This is just the very beginning. But it's great that, you know, this is potentially other treatments that are being investigated. As you said there, it's not just the vaccines. There's other ways that scientists are looking at potentially stopping the virus, as catching the virus, or indeed it spreading beyond the nose into the organs. That's another thing that Professor Hunter said, of course, that, you know, the serious COVID is when it has left the nasal cavity and it's gone down to the lungs and the other organs. And once that's happened, rinses are not going to do anything at all. But yeah, we shouldn't be rinsing every day at the moment. Let's wait and see what the results of these studies eventually say.
All right, Nicola Hill, thank you so much.